my channel. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new here, I'm a homeschooling mom of 4 living in Tennessee and a little hobby farm, and summer is in full swing. You can see behind me I've got peaches and green beans, corn, cucumbers, and a dog. Anyway, so many things that we are busy trying to put up. I'm kind of a mess. It's actually 7:30 at night and I am growing weary, but I did want to show you just a little bit of what we're doing with some of the canning and all of that. So we are currently working on canning the green beans. These do have to be pressure canned. I have the first batch in the canner right now, and Hannah is actually out in the garden seeing if she can find just a few more beans so we can fill the canner a second time. What I wanted to show you is how we do the green beans. Essentially, you're just going to wash and snap your beans. I like to snap them in half and then just press them down in there really well so that they're nice and tight, because when you do add the water, you know, they will float. So you want to push them down. After you have your green beans in your jar, then you're going to, this is optional, okay, but if you take 2 tablets of zinc per quart and pop them in there, it actually helps to retain the color of the green beans. So 2 tablets of zinc, a teaspoon of salt, and totally optional is about 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. And then I just have this electric tea kettle that I heat up with water so that it's boiling, and then I pour it up to the rim of my jars, pop them in the pressure canner, and you will bring them up to 10 pounds pressure for 20 minutes process time. I like to take my lids and put them in water and bring them to a light boil, turn them off. It just helps to soften the seal so that it works its magic on the jars. And if you heard that noise, it sounds like Hannah came in. The green beans on this particular batch, they're just kind of done, but I think we've got enough here to work with so that we can fill one more jar. So that's what's going on there. I've also am probably going to work a little bit of corn. I worked some the other day, but while I'm waiting for green beans, I might as well get the pot boiling, pop some in here, and cut it off the cob. I also need to work on getting this granola put away. Love this granola. It is from the Alaskan Housewife cookbook, and it is just so delicious. It has little bits of graham cracker in there and also dark chocolate. Yeah, so delicious. Yesterday I made a whole bunch of that Amish white bread that I make frequently, and then today I made 4 loaves of the sourdough sandwich bread. That recipe comes from Ruth Ann Zimmerman. I believe she's Zimmerman Homestead here on YouTube. And then this bread is the is it white sandwich bread or something like that, from Heidi Marie on Instagram. Look that recipe up because it is so good. So out here is our little canning process. I have a Camp Chef stove. I believe we might have gotten it from Bass Pro or Gander Mountain years ago. Love this for canning. I just do it outside on my porch. As you can see, it's coming up to pressure, and I believe we're just about to 5 pounds pressure. We're going to go to 10 pounds. Once it's at 10 pounds, I will be turning down the heat, and then it'll process for 20 minutes. You got to turn it off, comes down to 0 pressure, take your jars out, and then we can put the next batch in. Someday I will have 2 pressure canners and it'll be wonderful, but at this point I just have the one, so that's what we're working with right now. I've got my corn. I've got a bowl here in the sink. And honestly, I just cut it right in. Use all the fancy corn cutters you want. But honestly, especially if the corn is tender, this goes really fast. I had gotten some really good corn, and like this one here is a lot more tender, comes off the cob much easier, and others just a little tougher. I've also seen people using a pineapple corer on their corn. I thought that looked kind of cool too. What 9:30 looks like, waiting for my green beans to be done. I know that's not late for some, but after a full day and then canning, I'm done. Anyway, we've got, I don't know how I've managed it, but exactly 10 pounds pressure. And I don't know how many minutes we got left. My timer's on it, but hear all the night noises. This is night in the south. And it's really cool because there's a super moon as well. So it's huge. Last Sunday it was so cool. Anyway, my battery's going dead. I'm going dead. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Well, folks, good morning. All the jars sealed. That's good news. I kept hearing them going pop, pop, pop all night long. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to pickles here this morning. So I am making lemon juice, dill, and garlic pickles, and so I have got my lemon juice and pickling salt and water in here, and that makes up my brine. And then in the jars, I'm actually going to be putting a grape leaf, which has kind of like a tannin, I believe it is, that helps to keep your pickle crisper. So I'm putting a grape leaf in there, fresh dill and fresh garlic, as well as some peppercorns, and stuffing my jars full of that and the cucumbers, and then we'll be water bathing them for about 10 minutes. So I'm just taking my pickles here and slicing them down the middle and making spears. I'm going to take a dill, pop that in, and how about some fronds of dill? And then I'm also going to be using a grape leaf and a couple cloves of garlic and a tablespoon. I should have you guys on a tripod because, and not a tablespoon, it's a teaspoon, y'all, of peppercorns. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna just stuff our jars full of these are not garlic. I'm telling you what, I'm losing my brain this year. Just losing it. Can't talk. Stuff our jars full of cucumbers, and then we're gonna put the brine over the top. like I said, the lemon juice and pickling salt and water. And we're just gonna pour it over to the tops of our jars. These things are awesome because it actually will show you the right amount of water or liquid to put in. You just want to go up to the neck, up to the rim. Hopefully I have enough brine here. So we're gonna put these in a water bath, and what I'm gonna do is as soon as I put them into that boiling water, I'm gonna set my timer for 10 minutes. And I'm gonna take them out at the end of that 10 minutes, and I'm gonna flip them upside down onto my drying mat, or just the towel that I put the jars on. But anyway, I'm gonna be flipping them upside down. Because I'm processing them for the least amount of time that I can do, because I want them to still be crunchy and crispy. And so often, one of the biggest issues with canning your own pickles is that they end up being mushy. And oh guys, you do not want a mushy pickle. They're just gross. So that is what we're doing now. And I have 2 water bath canners, and they each fit 7 quarts in them. So I've got 6 right now. Here's the last one for this, and then I'm gonna have to make some more brine. My local grocery store did not have any lemon juice. I was so upset. So I only have a certain amount of lemon juice that I can use. So anyway, I don't like how this one's sticking up, and I think I'm gonna take it out of that jar. Right now I have my lids. I think I talked to you about that last night. I have my lids in some water in a little pot, little saucepan on the stove, just warming up that seal, just wetting that seal, softening that seal so that you get a better overall seal on your jars. It just does good. I've always done that, and probably always will. Hard to teach a dog old dog new tricks, right? Well, the kids are watching some old home videos on this channel here, and I am still working on pickles along with Hannah here. And what we're doing right now is I'm using my crock that I would use for sauerkraut to do some fermenting of pickles, some cucumbers. And if you look on Farmhouse on Boone, just look up, what are they called? Yeah, just homemade fermented pickles. And her recipe pops right up. And basically it's just a salt brine, but I put dill and garlic also in here, because who doesn't like dill and garlic in their pickles? So I'm just working on filling this jar up here, and then I will put the salt brine water on it, and I'll put these weights on it, and then there's a lid as well. You'll see that these crocks have like a little well around it, and that is so that if it bubbles up and over, it has some place to go instead of all over your countertop. So these are really nice. I had gotten them for Christmas a couple years ago. So anyway, love that. So that's what I'm working on right now. I've got, how many did we get? 14, 15, 16, 17 and a half quarts of pickles. So very exciting. Okay, so There they are in their saltwater brine, and now I'm going to put the weights on here to hold them down in the water. The hardest thing with these crocs is the weights. Is getting them in and then getting them out. Anyway, we're going to go in here, and then I put this lid on top. So, all right. There's still pickles left. Help. So we also made Megan Fox Unlocked refrigerator pickles. So I've got one with lemon juice and one with vinegar. So we'll see how they compare and how they do. Basically, you just mix a cup of vinegar with 3 teaspoons of salt, and you put some fresh dill in there, or I put some garlic in there, and then you fill your jar with the cucumber slices, and then just pour the cup of liquid in there. So you just kind of shake them, and they're gonna make their water, they're gonna make more water in there, basically, the cucumbers do, as they sweat down. So anyway, I'll pop them in the fridge. Also put another big bag of cucumbers in the refrigerator, and I think we're gonna have some cucumber sandwiches for lunch. Why not? If you can't beat them, just join them. We'll eat cucumbers. They're so good. We're moving on to tomatoes. Look at all these beautiful cherry tomatoes picked from the garden. Love this. Truly. Yes, by Hannah. And I love this basket that I found at a thrift store. It's so much fun for picking and gathering things in it. Just makes it feel so much more special somehow. Anyway, we're going to be canning these nice cherry tomatoes whole in some jars. And then we also have some other tomatoes here. We'll probably do up some of these and probably do some salsa as well. So we're trying these cherry tomatoes canned without blanching them. So with their skins on. I've heard that they're really good to basically make tomato sauce and stuff with. Very flavorful. So that's what we're doing with some of these. I'm just going to put some water in with them, but basically teaspoon of salt, tablespoon of sugar. We've got some garlic cloves in there and some fresh basil, and then we'll can them up. So if you cut a little X in the bottom of your tomato, the skin can peel off really well. But basically you just bring your water to a boil, pop them in here for a couple minutes or so, and then come on over here, put them in your cold water, and the skins just slide right off. Ta-da! All right, guys, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 quarts of tomatoes. So we have 5, I guess, of the ones that are nice and chunked. We have basil and garlic cloves in there, along with a teaspoon of salt, tablespoon of sugar. And then I did the same thing with these cherry tomatoes. I put some water in them because, you know, they are going to have juice as well. But I wanted to get that started. Anyway, they will process water bath for 20 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and get those in the canners. Well, we have tomatoes in the canner, and now we're working our way through some peaches. We are doing, well, probably about 3/4 of a bushel of peaches because I wanted to keep some out to eat. But Hannah is peeling away here in the sink. Doesn't that look pretty? And then over here, I am just slicing them right off the pit. I'm gonna be adding a little bit of this in there. It's basically like lemon juice, which I've used in the past. And then, yeah, we'll be just adding a little bit of sugar in and popping them in the jars. We are actually going to be cold packing these peaches today and processing them water bath. So that's what we're working on right now. The batch, our 10 jars of peaches in the canner right now on timer. So that's just about done. And then guess what? Mike brought us home some more corn. So I am heating up a pot of water to boil. Hannah just got all this husked, and we'll basically, I think I talked about this when I did it last night, but anyway, this stuff looks really good, by the way. But I just put it in the boiling water for a little while, and then we put it in cold water to kind of stop the cooking process, cut it off the cob, and I put it in baggies in 2-cup portions, just kind of like a jar of corn would be, or a can of corn would be a 2-cup portion. So that's how we do our corn. Hannah's working through the corn. I think we're all getting tired. It's all starting to slow down just a little bit, isn't it? Oh my. We got the smaller canner load of peaches out of the water bath, and they look so nice. And I've got the larger batch, you know, now in the next canner. It should be done here really soon. So should have left the green beans out here from last night. We would have had the whole countertop just full of canning. It's all so exciting to see, you know? It's like, a job well done. There it is. Hopefully all the jars sealed. Well, we've got our countertop full of stuff, and now of course everybody's hungry, right? So we are making some tomatilla salsa verde. We got the tomatillas from the farmer's market, so we're kind of charring them up a little bit. Hannah got the tomatillas from the farmer's market.
Not what I was saying. I was saying that I think it's tomatillos.
Well, I was saying tomatillos, and then somehow I said tomatillas, so I don't know. Tomatillos, sorry. Anyway. And we have, Mexican red rice cooking. Love that. Found the recipe on TikTok. You take the blender and you load it up with an onion and fresh garlic and fresh tomato, and you kind of blend it all up and pour it over your rice and then cook it. It's so delicious. And now what we're doing is just charring tomatillos, red onion, and I'm using jalapeno and chili arbol, I think it is. It's the dried chilies, and so we're just charring them up. Give your limes a good squeeze roll, and it just helps to soften them up. I think you can also put them in the microwave, but this does a great job of just making them nice and easy to juice, because we're going to want to squeeze some fresh limes into our salsa. Alrighty, I have chopped up some onion and fresh cilantro, and look, isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness! Oh, wish you could smell it. There it is. Let's turn it on, blend it up. Here we go. I don't know that you would have even had to put the water in it, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, scoop that in there. And apparently this recipe actually does not call for limes, so my bad. I looked at a whole bunch of them, and yeah, this particular one does not call for lime juice. And there you have it, folks. I will say that I don't know that it needed a whole half of a cup of water. I think it probably would have been fine with maybe even no water, or fourth of a cup or something. But anyway, we'll have to try it now, huh? Okay. I really like it. It is spicy though. The lady said on the recipe that it is spicy, but I didn't put as much as she even said to put in it, and it's still spicy. But I really like it. All right, let's see if this rice is done. Ooh, doesn't that look so delicious? It's just done in no time. If you take your rice and first brown it a bit, what do they call that? Toasting or whatever. I can't remember the term for it, but anyway, in a little bit of oil, and then cook it. It'll cook up so fast. It'll be so fluffy and so delicious. I stir all of it together and then just let it sit for a few minutes. And that's some good rice. Okay, supper served. Looking good, guys. What a great way to end a very busy day of canning. Thanks, Hannah, for all your help.
Yeah.
You're amazing. Couldn't have done it without you. Well, thank you guys for joining us today as we did a canning marathon here. It was called How Much Can You Can in One Day? Anyway, I hope you guys are having fun putting up your produce for the summer. Summer is such a fun time of year, and everything is so tasty and delicious, and it's just so much fun to preserve it for the months and weeks ahead. So anyway, thanks for joining me. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.